All right, all right. We are live. We are bellying up to the bar. I got Dave here with me, filling in for one bar, who is MIA because he has some prior commitments going on. So, yes. Dave's starting early. He's definitely belly up. How's the taste?
Absolutely delicious.
Well, this team's going to make you drink today because we are going to be celebrating tons of Vikings points. It's going to be weird. We're not used to the Vikings scoring points, but today we're going to see an explosion.
Hey, I would love to see that. Let's get at least 30. Guaranteed win. We score 30, we win. Period. Done.
I'll be excited for 10 at this point. We got Ashley in the house. Obviously, Dave's here. Davey Chains, Vikings fan 123, Eric Spink, Mason M, Julian Marker. How's everybody feeling about the Vikings as they travel to the Bengals?
Well, Julian's saying he's sicker than all get out. So, Julian, I hope you feel better and it's not related to the football game.
Maybe have a little Coke and some crackers always made my tummy feel a little bit better. But and also don't fart. If it's a belly thing, do not trust to fart right now. Do not do it. Not worth it.
Sounds like a man speaking from experience.
Yeah. Venomous Nemesis is here. No expectations, he says. And that's kind of weird. I think that's true. Like this team, I don't even know what to expect anymore. So I'm not expecting anything anymore.
We're playing on house money. I said that after we lost Kirk Cousins. You know, you lose a starting quarterback in a season, you're done. That's generally the way it goes. And so we're playing literally with house money. Now, what is surprising is we won the next bunch of games. And then we lost a couple, and now we got a quarterback change back to the original backup of Nick Mullens. And we should see... This should be interesting to see how it goes. This game, almost a must-win. I don't say it's completely a must-win, but it's going to show us something. And with Nick Mullens standing in there, one, is he a legitimate backup quarterback? And two, can he do enough that can take us into the playoffs and give us a chance? Because that defense of ours is rocking.
Yep.
And we know offenses get you to the playoffs, but defenses win championships. So
hell yes. And we finally have that defensive championship caliber, defense going on here. So we'll talk a little bit more about that before we do a little programming note. Remember, any super stickers, super chats, donations, go to the Rising Up Foundation. We got 4 more days. We're on the precipice of 1K. We're cock teasing it right now, kind of massaging it. We're almost there. Let's explode. Let's make it explode. We got today, we got the post game later, and then obviously Horned Up on Wednesday. So let's make the final push. Again, all super chats going to the Rising Up Foundation.
And do you know that Horned Up on Wednesday is my favorite show during that time slot every week?
Hell yeah. Appreciate that, Dave. I kind of had a feeling it might have been.
It follows, the real Forno. He does his at 6. We do that over at Vikings First and Skull. But then next on my list is always Horned Up.
Boom. Yeah, we always love to see when you hop on. Much appreciatives have come out. So on the Vikings side of things, we have running back Alexander Madison, safety Lewis Seen, quarterback Josh Dobbs, who goes from starter to the emergency backup, tight end Nick Muse. Let me just see, help you guys visualize Nick Muse there. Tight end Nick Muse is inactive today. Guard Chris Reed, I'm not sure if he's dinged up or what. A right tackle Brian O'Neill and wide receiver Jalen Naylor, I believe, got a concussion when he let that ball go right through his hands to hit him in the head. So Jalen Naylor inactive. So definitely some talkers here on the Viking side. And let's start with Alexander Madison. For once, I actually thought he looked like the best back in purple last week. And you can't say that every week, but he did last week against the Raiders.
He did, and I think it was Doogie that said this week that the rumors coming out of Egan, it's a high ankle sprain, and we know high ankle sprains take a while to heal. Yeah. Hopefully he'll be back soon.
Yeah, and a lot of Ty Chandler supporters on this channel. A lot of our viewers love Ty Chandler, and now Ty Chandler has his chance. His first start of his career. He didn't look great with the few touches he had last week, but he's looked good before, so we'll see it. I think as a receiver, and he adds some explosiveness to this offense, to this running game, which I think we'll need.
And I think he's sort of like Madison. He takes a while to get lathered up, and then once he's lathered up and we're beating on that defensive line and linebackers, the box, all game, I think you're going to see Chandler's pace and runs pick up and get more and more productive as the game goes on.
Dave, I'm really glad you said lathered up because we also have a sponsor, Happy Nuts, 15% off, promo code 151bar. There'll be a link in the description after the show. You want your balls to be unbelievably clean this holiday season, get yourself some Happy Nuts. Get them maybe for that hard-to-get person in your life. Again, soaps, bar soaps, body wash, fantastic. And proceed of every sale goes to prostate cancer research. Boom.
Boom.
Hell,
that's a big deal for us men.
It is. And
for us older guys. Mm-hmm.
Well, hell, once, but I'm sticking my own fingers up my ass, checking my prostate daily. Again, and start thinking what your Happy Nuts clean play of the week. Ivan Pace Jr.'s interception won it last week. We'll be dropping some nominees, but as you watch the game, keep that in mind. So, tight end Nick Muse, we said Chris Reed, the guard. I don't know if he was dinged or not. He was kind of a guy I thought we might start seeing getting started into the lineup a little bit. He's got something going on, but Brian O'Neill, the right tackle, this was a huge loss for the Vikings.
Yes, and he has an ankle sprain as well, but it is not a high ankle sprain. It's a lower ankle sprain. So I expect we'll probably see him next week when we start playing the interdivision games. So I'm not as worried about Brian O'Neill. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as Chris Reed, I think it just may be a numbers game. They just didn't have enough space to put him on the active.
Okay. I didn't think he was hurt, but again, they don't really say on these things what's going on. Again, and then Jalen Naylor, receiver, who, he's a depth piece at best, had some issues last week catching the ball. So no big loss there. Let's go to the Bengals. Halfback Chris Evans. I don't know if he even plays. I also think he might have been Captain America. Linebacker Joe Bacci, center Trey Hill, tackle Jackson Carman, and defensive tackle Jay Tufele, who I actually loved coming out of USC a couple years back. Again, but nothing real key here for the Bengals. They're a pretty healthy team right now.
They look at, except for, of course, their IR quarterback, Joe Burrow. But hey, we get Jake Browning instead, and we've seen Jake before.
We are very familiar with Jake, not so much this regime, but a lot of these former teammates of Jake Browning on this Vikings roster. And let's talk about Jake Browning against this Brian Flores defense. To me, this is a huge matchup today and one that could ultimately decide the game.
Well, I see him. What the Bengals are good at is screen games. Even Kevin O'Connell admitted it. They've got the best screen game in the league. Mm-hmm. And Jake Browning can do that because he can get the ball out quickly. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Flores defense, which tends sometimes to get beat by the screen, but I'll bet Brian Flores was in his lab this week working up something against it. But it's going to be interesting to see how they do that. If they're going to try to force him to throw deep, which Browning can do, it's not superb or outstanding, but he can do. Can he force Browning, one, not to throw accurate screens or accurate deep balls, but can they mess with his head, make him all sorts of nervous and seeing ghosts everywhere? Yeah. If we do that, it's easy.
Yep. And then the screen game goes back. I mean, who's going to be defending that? You got your linebacker, Ivan Pace Jr. It's his birthday. It's his hometown. He grew up just down the street, went to Coleraine High School. I used to work at a Chuck E. Cheese on Coleraine Avenue in Cincinnati. So maybe our paths crossed when I was the game ref. I don't know. Maybe it did. But he needs to have a big game because, that Broncos were dinking and dunking on us. And Ivan Pace Jr. was a big reason why those were being successful. So he's coming out the biggest game of his young career. I'm going to see him followed up. Hometown, birthday. A lot of pressure.
He'll be motivated.
Extra motivated. Yeah, I mean, expectations for Ivan Pace today, I think he's going to follow it up big time.
Hey, get back-to-back NFC Defensive Player of the Week awards. That would be something.
Could you imagine undrafted rookie linebacker getting back-to-back Defensive Rookie of the Week? It would be insane. It would be insane. But you said it, though. The motivation's all there for him. He's got a bunch of people watching. Hopefully he doesn't crumble under the pressure, but I don't think he will. I think nothing but confidence was gained last week with his performance, and I expect a big sequel, better than Die Hard 2.
Mm-hmm. Hey, very good.
Thank you for that. Staying with Jake Browning and Brian Flores, I mean, he hasn't seen a defense like this, and you saw Harrison Phillips. I don't know what he was on. He was talking about, but just this defense has they have a check for that. They check back. They check. I mean, there's all these levels of these checks, and he's never really going to know what the hell he's looking at. And being an inexperienced quarterback, yeah, he's had 3 starts. He's played great, but I think Flores can really put Browning on a bad game today.
Oh, I think Flores could put just about any quarterback on a bad game. The key to Flores's defense is to get at least 6 guys up on the line of scrimmage and then get the offensive line and the quarterback guessing who's coming, who's not coming. And they may get it right once in a while and they call the right blocking scheme, but more often than not, it messes with their minds and once they make a mistake that screws with you and it's like an earworm and it drills in and then they make another and it compounds itself. And when you've got a young quarterback or relatively quarterback in Jake Browning, and that has never seen anything like this, it could be a recipe for disaster for him. Mm-hmm. And let's, as Vikings fans, hope that's the case.
Absolutely. So again, you got obviously there's some star power here on the Bengals side in offense. The running back Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson. This is gonna be interesting. I think they're really going to both try to outdo each other today. Former teammates. They're going to try to one up each other. So I'm expecting big games. At least those two are really going to put a little extra in this thing, I think, today.
I believe so too. And it's going to be fun because they're going to play who's the better wide receiver. Mm-hmm. And they're both going to be begging, throw me the ball. So it's going to be interesting because I don't think, as much as we want Justin Jefferson to have that 100-plus yard game, which I think he will have, mm-hmm. I'm curious who's going to get the more receptions today, JJ or Chase on that side, or JJ or Hawkinson for our side, because we know Nick Mullens loves throwing to the tight end. Mm-hmm. But that wide receiver duel, we're going to be watching the entire game and chalking up and see if JJ, starts at the beginning and just.
No. Can you make that noise again for me?
Something like that.
Nailed it. And I think KLC wants Justin Jefferson to be a huge part of this game plan. He was supposed to be last week, and then Dobbs got him hurt out. Then you're kind of scrambling. What the hell we're gonna do now? The whole game plan was around Justin Jefferson. It's gonna help open up the run game for Ty Chandler. So, but moving to the Vikings offense, this is all about Nick Mullens today, and that's where the question marks come in. What are we gonna expect? How aggressive will KLC be calling plays? Is he gonna be more conservative? Is he gonna play like he has this top 5 defense? Or is he going to feel more comfortable, and especially with Justin Jefferson back, maybe take some more shots? I'm not sure what to expect.
I expect it to see it more like the Kirk Cousins offense, where he's got the whole playbook open and he's running that. And we know that offense can score points and win games. And I fully expect to see that with Mullens. People are calling Nick Mullens, Kirk Cousins light, like some of the beer you may drink. But I still think it's quite effective, especially going against these Bengals or any team we face here on out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you give me that look when I talk about the beer you drink.
Listen, I actually got some craft stuff I'm going to bust out during the game. Yeah, I don't know. It's just he's been so conservative, knowing that he has this good defense. I don't know if he's going to flip the switch or not and start taking some more shots. I get it with Nick Mullens. You got more of what he wants back there. A true pocket passer, a guy who can actually read the field, can go to the second, third progression, whatever. But I don't know. I'll see it. I still think you want to play it semi-safe, not force things down the field, especially Nick Mullens, who I think he's got 25, 26 touchdowns to his career to like 24 interceptions. So he has been known to throw some interceptions, but I don't know. But it's kind of also been the year of the backup quarterback this year. Like, these guys come in and they're putting up numbers. So I've actually started slinging this thing. It wouldn't surprise me.
Second most in NFL history, and it's in the 50s. The number of backups that are total quarterbacks that have played this year. It's huge.
Yeah. Vikings have played 4. I mean, it's crazy. So we'll see what Big Dick Nick can do today. I think it's going to look much better than these last 2 games we've seen with Dobbs. I'm not expecting to be Kirk Cousins-esque, but somewhere in between. I think, 250 passing, touchdown, interception should be good. Should be good enough, right?
And I would think so. But Mullens before has put up over 400 yards. Mm-hmm. He has the capability. So
he's got some gunslinger to him.
Mm-hmm. We shall see is what it's going to be. And Mullens being our 4th starting quarterback set a Vikings record. They had never had more than 3 starting quarterbacks in a single season. We now have 4.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And the fact that that's happened and we're here 7-6, controlling our own destiny with 4 games left. I mean, it's unheard of, and it's probably never going to happen again. But every year it seems like there's something new with Vikings history. So we'll see what chapter unfolds today. Let's talk a little bit about Ty Chandler, this running back who's got some explosion. The Vikings run game has pretty much been non-existent all season long. I don't believe a single back has topped 100 yards. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I think we only have a couple of rushing touchdowns. Yeah, so
we've got close. This be the game? Some 90s, but not.
This Bengals defense, they're going to put a lot of yards on the ground, a lot of yards through the air. So this is actually a good matchup for Mullens, and I think for this Vikings running game today.
I agree, and they can be run on, and that brings us back to what helps the running game: the big round bellies of the O-line, which I saw that there was a remark on. The O-line is back to 80%. Everybody is there except for Brian O'Neill. And then we got David Quisenberry in for O'Neill today, which I think should do fine. The guys, we've got our guards back, Ed Ingram and Dalton Risner. So I think the running game could get easily established, especially over Ed Ingram, because Ed loves to demolish people. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm betting it's going to work. And then we'll start arguing, well, who's better, Alexander Mattison or Ty Chandler? Hopefully Ty Chandler steps it up this week so we can have that argument.
And we also, if it is working, KOC has to stick with it. He loves to call passing plays. He loves to throw the ball. Even in situations where you're like trying to run the clock, he would want to throw the ball. So if it's working, stick with it. Keep pounding it. I want to see him do that. I don't trust him to do that, though. He just never does that.
KOC loves the one-score game. And I would love for him to get out of that habit.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned the one-score game, because that's the next thing I really want to talk about here is our kicker, Greg Joseph. I mean, we're now in these games here, meat grinder games where our offense has not been able to produce points. Every single point is crucial. And now we have this kicker who, we're shocked. He sucks again this year, kicking 76% of his kicks he's made, worse than last year. And we need him to hit his kicks. We can't afford to leave any points off the board.
I agree 100%. These kickers, and even Ryan Wright, Mr. Wright, which was fantastic last year, is having a down season. And obviously Joseph's having a down season, even though I don't think he's cost us any games yet this year, but you can't leave points on the board, period. You've got to be able to maximize those opportunities. The Dallas kicker, a rookie, the dude hasn't missed.
Yeah.
And why can't we find one? It's, why can't Vikings fans have nice things? I think is the argument. So
we had one. He wasn't working very well, so we got rid of him. So maybe just, clean him off, give him a good bath and some encouragement. But now he's kicking for the Raiders. But yeah, I don't know. It's horrifying. And Greg Joseph, I'm sure he's gonna have some key kicks today. I just hope that, we don't drive down, score that first touchdown, then he misses the extra point. That is such a momentum killer. It really is. And you can say it's only 1 point. It always comes back to bite you in the ass every single time. You're always trying to catch up to that point. And I really hope that does not happen today.
100%. I agree with you. I hope he hits 100% of his kicks.
Yeah, I hope so. Again, as Vikings fans, we're always sweating that one out. This is why Dave drinks, because of our kicker situation. A big part of it.
It's a big part of it. All the way back 87 and before. Yes.
And Dave, you've been a Vikings fan a very long time. Have you ever seen a team this point in the season pretty much flip their identity from an offensive team to this defensive team we've seen now? Has this ever happened, especially this late in the year?
I have never seen this. Where 1 year, hey, we've got a top 5 offense, we're great, bring back everybody, and then the offense goes bunch due to injuries, but a few other issues, and the defense, which was 30th, 31st, 32nd, however, whatever metrics you wanted to look at, it was horrible last year, is suddenly it's top 5. And it's the talk of the NFL because, hey, Brian Flores is doing stuff that has never been done before in the NFL, and it's blowing people's minds. And I have never seen a flip like that. You could say, hey, when Zimmer came in, the defense he inherited was horrible. It was 32nd. He brought it up within a couple years to be a top defense. but it wasn't that immediate. He got it, I think, in 2014. I think he got it up to middle, but not to wham and flip, where the strength was the offense to the defense. That I've not seen it happen, at least that I can at least that I can remember. I may have killed that brain cell a long time ago, but who knows?
Yeah, it's weird. And then to not only do that, but to be thickly in the playoff hunt again, and really controlling your own destiny. It's, again, every year the Vikings do something that surprises me, that shocks me. And this year it's this total reversal of who you are, your identity, and you're winning. I mean, you're not winning games. You won last week, but you're in a position to make it to the playoffs. And you can ride this defense. I mean, if you can get game management on this quarterback, I like the build of this team, their fight. I mean, they don't give up. They've lost their starting quarterback, their star receiver. They lost key parts on defense, and they keep on fighting. So I like the makeup of this team. We've had a lot of Vikings teams that are, they look pretty, but they don't really have that grit. This team has some grit. This team has some balls, and I'll take this team in a playoff hunt. Why the hell not?
Why not? And especially when you look at the rest of the NFC, why not? We can beat just about anybody.
Yep. All right, so we're getting a bit close to wrapping this thing up. Dave, I don't know what your prediction was for this one, but let me hear it.
Because I haven't made one.
Oh, okay.
No, I figure I'm taking the Vikings to win, but I think it's going to be relatively close. Mm-hmm. Say 21-13.
21-13. Yeah, I'm sticking with mine. 2017. These Vikings love close games. I hate it to come down to a field goal if that's what it really is. That's going to really make me feel about as bad as who was sick. Was it Mason M who had the water poops today? I can't remember who it was. Julian Marker, maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll shit my pants with them if that's what it comes down to. But I think the Vikings will win. I think this defense is riding high. They're hot. This is a good road team. We didn't even mention the Vikings. They're better on the road than they are at home this year. I don't know why. But I think they'll put Jake Browning on some bad throws, some bad ideas, some bad decisions, and the Vikings are going to squeak this one out, get to 8-6, and really have a firm grasp on it. I really want that 6th seed because I kind of like that Lions as a matchup in round 1.
Oh yeah, well, it could be. We control it.
It could be 3 and 3. I know we could be the third.
It could be the Lions as they're coming to us.
I'd rather play them on the road the way we're playing this year.
Well, since we both call it close, watch it be a Vikings blowout.
Yeah, I know. And you're bracing yourself for anything. Remember last year, the Saturday game we were down, 33-0. We found a way to come back and win that thing. But you just never know with these damn Vikings what they're going to give you.
Mm-hmm. You never know.
All right. Well, Dave, again, thanks for hopping on. Where can anybody find you if they do not know?
I am found over at Vikings First and Skull. That's right. Vikings First and Skull. We have live shows during the week, and we have podcasts. And we have extra podcasts than we do have live shows over on YouTube. And we're part of the Fans First Sports Network. And we do writing over on that site too. So we're there. We're going to be live today with our post game, which is live at the 2-minute warning. Why? Because we get to watch that last 2 minutes with you, the viewer, and then react together. Hopefully we'll be celebrating and downing beers and bourbons and having a grand old time.
And these shirts will be off. The milkers will be exposed. Let's hope that all happens. One bar will be back at some point. Yeah, I will probably start the post game, our last call live by myself. He'll be joining at some point. But again, here we go. Vikings Saturday football. Let's do it. Cannot wait. It's fantastic. You never know what you get with these Vikings, but let's hope it's something good. Let's hope we see some offense. I want to see some offense. I don't want another damn snoozer. I can't handle it. All right, guys. It is the Christmas season, so here's a little fact to get you in the Christmas mood. A male reindeer's antlers can be up to 51 inches long, and a female's antlers can reach 20 inches. And Dave's antlers a good 6 inches.
A good 6 inches. Skull Vikings, let's win this game.
Boom.